Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Alpha Podcast, the show where we talk about the latest, hottest topics in the world of pop culture and sports. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I am your host, Jayden, and I got a great lineup for you guys today. We are going to be discussing the Ballerina and it, in some people's eyes, flopping at the box office, but I don't think that was necessarily the case. We are going to be talking about as well Chris Evans being on a recent press tour for his movie, and he is adamant again that he is not going to be returning as Captain America in Avengers Doomsday. We're going to get more into that. Then we are going to talk about Mortal Kombat, the upcoming Mortal Kombat 2 movie, and it has a lot of people in an uproar already. I guess they had a test screening of some sort. We're going to discuss that as well. And lastly, and probably my favorite part of the podcast, so stick along for it, James Gunn announced that his Wonder Woman movie for the DCU is officially being written after speculation that she was being put on the back burner by DC Studios. That is the lineup for today, guys, but do not forget, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, hit the follow button. And if you're listening on YouTube and watching on YouTube, do not hesitate to hit the subscribe button on the podcast, like the podcast, and tap the notification bell to get notified when all of my videos go live. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Ballerina, okay? I went to go see the movie this weekend, opening weekend. Been a fan of the John Wick universe for a very long time. I love Ana de Armas's work. I have been a fan of hers for a very long time. And when I first found out, which I got it wrong when I reacted to her trailer for her movie, I thought she was already in the John Wick universe, but I got that confused with the 007. She was actually in 007 No Time to Die. I don't know how I got that mixed up, but it was just so long since I watched a John Wick movie and a 007 movie that inevitably was what happened. But I watched the trailers, I was hyped for it and I wanted to see it. Being a fan of John Wick and being a fan of Ana de Armas's work, I was wanting to see what she had in store for the role. And I was interested because I knew the budget was like $80 million. And I was wanting to see what the film was going to make. So it only made $25 million. But let's put this into context. We are going to read the article together. Okay. In an article by Variety, Lilo & Stitch beats Ballerina at the box office as John Wick spinoff debuts to $25 million. Ballerina couldn't twirl its way. Well, this is what the article states. Ballerina couldn't twirl its way to the top of the box office charts. The John Wick spinoff, starring Ana de Armas as a dancer turned assassin, launched slightly behind expectations with $25 million from 3,400 North American theaters. The R-rated film opened in second place behind Disney's Lilo & Stitch, which claimed a number one spot for the third consecutive weekend with $32.5 million from 4,000 venues. The live-action reboot has generated $335.8 million domestically and $772 million globally. And there's more here, and I'm going to play this B-roll for you guys. Ballerina earned a lackluster $26 million from 82 countries at the international box office for a global start of $51 million. Heading into the weekend, Lionsgate predicted a domestic debut of $30 million for Ballerina. But even that would have been middling since the film cost $90 million to produce. Lionsgate typically covers 2/3 of its production budgets with international sales, which helps offset underperforming theatrical titles. However, the studio hopes that Ballerina will be the first of many John Wick spinoffs, in order to justify the burgeoning, sprawling cinematic universe. Lionsgate needs moviegoers to care about the series without Keanu Reeves, who has played the professional hitman in 4 films, as the main draw. Despite positive audience scores, the film earned an A-, and that's more of just talking about the movie. We're not going to get that deep into it, okay? Am I shocked that it only made $25 million? Not necessarily. It deserved more because I thought the movie was great. And we'll talk about my thoughts of the movie after we talk about its pretty lackluster performance at the box office. I'm not shocked because it's not a John Wick movie. I'm not shocked because I thought, for me personally, the marketing wasn't the best. They didn't really do a good job putting the movie out there. You know, we've seen a lot of Fantastic Four and Superman stuff on Twitter and other social medias, given those are bigger IPs than what John Wick is in the John Wick franchise. But still, I really did think that the marketing for this movie was not the best. Wasn't a lot of trailers, wasn't a lot of social media I wouldn't say discourse, just people actually talking about the upcoming project. And for them to say in the article, which I didn't know, that they were expecting $30 million and for them to only make 25, $5 million shy, you can't really be mad. The one thing this movie has going for it, for a majority of people, the majority of the people loved it as far as audience score. It had a 93 rating on Rotten Tomatoes the last time I checked. And it was in the 70s, like mid to low 70s is the critic score. And it seems that a lot of the people who are in the media space and critics of the movies and people on content creators and everybody else who discuss the movies, I have seen nothing but positive reactions about the film. Me personally, I had a relatively good time. So with the positive word of mouth going on with this for this film, there might be a situation why it might have a long-lasting stance at the box office. Another reason why, which it was actually in this article. Yes, I forgot to point this out. Let's actually discuss this. This was something interesting. Ballerina actually did better than the first couple of John Wick movies at the box office opening weekend. Here's the numbers. After the original 2014's John Wick opened to 14 million, it soared. The franchise soared in popularity with 2017's John Wick 2 soaring to a $30.4 million opening. Then John Wick 3 opened to 56 million, and then John Wick 4 opened to 78 million. So, to put that in perspective, the very first John Wick film that they made only made 14 million bucks. And then the second one only made 30 million bucks. So, in hindsight, you made a movie. It had Keanu Reeves in it for a little bit. When you marketed the movie, you made sure to put him in some way, form, or fashion in the marketing to let people know, okay, the Baba Yaga is actually going to be in this film. And you still made more money in your opening weekend than the first John Wick movie. And you made what you predicted was $30 million, and that's what your second John Wick 2 film made. And you performed just slightly less than that with a sequel movie that is not a part, it's part of the John Wick universe, but it's not a part of the main John Wick story. It's a sequel starring Ana de Armas. Winston was in there slightly to a small degree. And the fellow who passed away who plays the clerk, the guy who works at the front desk as well, he's one of the founding members of the John Wick universe. He was in it as well. And then John Wick was in it for a significant amount of time, in my opinion, for a standalone film for Ana de Armas. And you still came out making a good film. It was shot well. Special effects were great outside of some CGI stuff. I know you guys will probably see it when you watch the movie, especially with one specific car scene. I wouldn't say very early on, but early on in the movie, it was hokey looking. You could tell it was computer generated. But outside of that, there was even an interesting fact, and I found this on the John Campea show when I was watching. The flamethrower scene was real. There was no CGI whatsoever during the flamethrower scene. The only CG that Lionsgate said that they used was on the faces of the actors who were getting hit by the flamethrower. But I know obviously Ana de Armas didn't perform the flamethrower stunt, but the flamethrower stuff was real. That was fascinating to know. Although I do think, even though it was cool, I thought the flamethrower scene, me personally, was drawn out a little too much for me. That's just one specific critique of mine. But we're about to discuss that more in depth. But specifically for this news, I don't want to consider this a flop. I don't. I know we got the discourse going on online about the girl boss stuff that a lot of people love to talk about. I get it. There's been a lot of movies that have been highlighted by women being at the forefront of roles in movies have not been performing as well. We can go back to the Marvels, Furiosa, and so many other films. And one big one that is coming up in Fantastic Four, a lot of news is coming out, especially this tease that Sue Storm and the female Silver Surfer are going to be at the forefront at the end of the movie defeating Galactus, but we're waiting to see how that goes. That is also going to be another girl boss movie. And I think that might be some of the reason why the movie didn't perform well. Some people thought the idea of, okay, Keanu Reeves was not, it's not Keanu Reeves, it's a woman. It's Ana de Armas. She's not going to be nowhere near as cool as the Baba Yaga. I get it. I mean, some people were going to say that. And it's in some people's minds. Only the general audience could have thought that. People who are, I imagine people who are fans of the John Wick universe, who are John Wick extraordinaires, they went out to go see the movie like I did. Because for me, for movies, when it comes to movies that I don't generally love outside of Marvel and DC, even some Marvel properties now, I don't even see it on this opening weekend. But for me to go see this movie on opening weekend, I mean, that lets you know that if you were a John Wick fan, you were going to go see the movie. But I don't want to, I know the girl boss thing is what a lot of people is going to point towards when it comes to why this movie performed bad. I think that might be 30% of the reason why, maybe 25%. But I don't want to get carried away with that being the focal reason why the movie didn't do well. I just thought, me personally, I don't think the movie was marketed well at all. And I think that's really it. As far as the movie itself, the movie was good. And I think that the movie is going to pick up traction by good word of mouth. And I'm just going to leave that there. But to get to the movie, and just for me personally, I'm going to just go ahead and describe how I enjoyed the movie. The movie was good. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I don't want to keep you guys all here all day with this portion of the podcast. The movie was good. It's not great. It was very action-packed. It really reminded me of John Wick 3. It had similar similarities to it, to where she's on the run. I mean, she's not technically on the run, but she's fighting somebody or fighting somebody, running away from somebody, or trying to find somebody the whole movie for the most part. I would have probably preferred a little less action, more character building and story building. Even the side plots they have with the sister thing, that felt like it was unnecessary and just a plot hole out of this world. And they could have, that's the forefront part of, they could have did better. The acting was great. Special effects were great outside of the one car scene that I was talking about. That was horribly bad. The story was basic. Again, that's what I knew I forgot something. The story was very basic. Weren't a lot of character building. The story was relatively easy to follow, straight to the point, which you can't be mad about that. If I had to rate it out of 10, 7.5. It is something that I would watch again. I would actually probably buy just for it to go along with the John Wick universe. I think it's possibly a good watch with your friends and family. If you just want to watch something new that you ain't watched in a while, like me and my family does, it's rewatchable. I can say that it is actually rewatchable. I got to give them credit. It is not easy to make Elseworld projects that does not focally involve the character in John Wick, and you made a movie, although it had John Wick in it to a significant amount of time and to a significant degree, and Keanu Reeves did a great job. Everything they done with that. I know they teased the fight scene in the marketing for the movie, and I would have been totally pissed off if she would have beat John Wick in any sort of way, but they didn't do that. They didn't lean on the girl boss thing. She got her rump kicked by John Wick, and she got her rump kicked throughout the movie a lot, especially early on when she's getting used to doing the spy thing and the hitman thing. So that was great. Thank you, Lionsgate, for not going stupid and thinking that she all of a sudden is going to beat the man, because he is the man. He felt like the Baba Yaga in this movie. The way he went about himself, the way the people in the town, especially the dude who Ana de Armas was trying to kill, he was like, when they sent John Wick to try and kill her, he was like, okay, they brought the Baba Yaga. We're good. So they made John Wick feel like John Wick. Round of applause. Fantastic. I loved it. And although they could have did better on a lot of things, specifically with the story, I thought the fight scene with the flamethrower was a little drawn out. She had her own, I know they were trying to give her her own fighting style. It seemed like, I believe they were leaning heavier on the pistols and knives and things of that nature. She rarely used an assault rifle at all. Maybe they try to differentiate her fighting sequences from John Wick's, because John Wick actually used a semi-automatic or a sniper rifle. He was using one of the two, and then she was relatively using knives, axes, things of that nature. She was more of a scrappy type of fight style. She was kind of fighting with whatever she found, because she was, throughout majority of the movie, and specifically mostly from the middle end of the movie, she's pretty much fighting with whatever she gets her hands on. She comes in weaponless for the majority of the movie. She doesn't have her own weapons. So, but I don't want to get drawn this movie review out too much. The movie is great. Well, sorry. The movie is good. It's not great. It is something I could possibly go to the movie to see again, just because I'm a fan. It is a movie that I would buy and that I would rewatch every once in a while. It could be in the movie categories I watch every once in a while. And it is a movie that I recommend people to go watch. If you love an action-packed film and you want to be entertained, this is the movie for you. And any of those who are watching and listening now, I want you to go support this movie. It deserves more support than what it is given. Because I know a lot of people were saying that about Thunderbolts. And I'm going to tell you right now, this movie here is way better than Thunderbolts in every aspect and way. And I know Thunderbolts flopped at the box office, but it deserved to flop because, in my opinion, it was not a good movie. In this sense, go see Ballerina. It's a good movie. They don't lean heavy into the girl boss crap. Okay? It is it felt like a movie that was old cinema from 7 years, pre-COVID cinema. That's how we could categorize it. Pre-COVID cinema. It was It had no political agenda in it, in no real world problems. It was a fictional story with fictional characters, and it was a fun time. Sign me up for movies like that. Thank you, Lionsgate, for making a great movie. I know you guys technically did not perform it like you would want, but I think you are going to get great word of mouth, and your film is going to make some good money. And I think you're going to pick up, like y'all said, the majority of y'all's movies pick up a lot of international money. So that may bring y'all in more influx there. So I think you could possibly break even. I don't see a film that is going to profit, sadly. But it was a good movie, and I had a good time. What did you guys think about the Ballerina? Did you guys go out and watch it this weekend? Did you guys enjoy it? What did you guys think about the movie only making $25 million? Did you think it flopped? Although I personally don't think it flopped. I want to know all of your comments down below. All right, let's move on to the next topic. The man Chris Evans, our lovely Captain America, was teased early on, probably about a year ago, maybe not so much, about 10 months ago. There was a bunch of sources floating around that pretty much confirmed that he was going to be in Avengers Doomsday and coming back in some way, form, or fashion. I actually made a video about it. Actually, no, now that I think, that was actually back in November and December, so that was only 6 months ago, because I remember making a video about it. And a lot of people were speculating that he was going to come back as a Hydra variant. I, for one, possibly thought that, given the fact they already have Sam Wilson's Captain America in the movie. But he was on a press tour for his new movie that he was having, and he doubled down on the fact that he has recently, saying that he is not going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Let's get to the article here. Chris Evans has finally addressed his absence from Avengers Doomsday in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Star has an emotional response to it. Evans has become synonymous with the MCU, turning into one of the faces of the franchise alongside RDJ, Iron Man. However, while his Marvel co-star will lead Avengers Doomsday cast as Doctor Doom, Evans has claimed in the past that he is not in the Avengers film and that his time as Steve Rogers has come to an end. Now that filming for the MCU's next Avengers movie has begun, Evans has addressed his absence. Speaking with Screen Rant's Liam Crowley about his new Marvel movie, Materialist, Chris Evans opened up about how he feels over not being in Avengers Doomsday. According to the actor, there is a sadness related to his absence, as it means Evans will not be part of the story his Captain America directors, the Russo brothers, are crafting with RDJ and the rest of the cast for the upcoming movie. Screen Rant asked this question, Chris, what's the over-under on how many times you've been asked about Steve Rogers today? Chris Evans stated, you know what? It hasn't really happened. You might be the first. Screen Rant asked him, I know you're not going to confirm or deny anything Avengers related, but I will ask now that Downey and the Russos are coming back as friends and outside of his colleagues. Have you talked to them since they signed the dotted line? Chris Evans said, yeah, I talk to them all the time. It's where Pedro is right now. I mean, it's sad to be away. It's sad not to be back with the band, but I'm sure they're doing something incredible, and I'm sure it's going to be that much harder when it comes out and you feel like you weren't invited to the party. All right. So, in his comments, Mr. Chris Evans was basically stating that, from what I'm getting with this, he sounds like he wants to play Captain America again. And do I think Chris Evans is returning for Doomsday? I don't. I think he is going to show up in Secret Wars, though. Because here's the thing. What they're building a foundation for right now, we know that Chris Evans could come back to play Captain America. Because we're trying to figure out right now as we speak, how is the old X-Men coming back? And they're teasing that more characters might be coming back from that universe, from other universes as well. So there is a way that Chris Evans can come back to play the role. But will he be back specifically for Doomsday? I don't think so. He could possibly be in a post-credit scene. But for this movie, and this movie alone, he obviously wouldn't team up with the OG Avengers. Well, with the new Avengers team, with Pedro Pascal and them, and Sebastian Stan, Thunderbolts, and Sam Wilson, and everybody else. That Avengers squad, there's no way as of right now in this moment, because right now Steve Rogers is still in the MCU. He's not dead. Okay, it's not a Robert Downey Jr. thing. It's not an Iron Man, Tony Stark thing to where Tony Stark is actually dead. Steve Rogers is technically alive. Okay, could there be some weird side plot that they could pull up in Avengers Doomsday for him to go back in time and redo his time at Peggy Carter and actually show up in Avengers Doomsday as Captain America? Could they do that? Yes, but I don't think they want to do that because I think that Marvel is wanting to put Sam Wilson at the forefront of an Avengers movie. Me personally, I don't think that's possibly a good idea. Me personally, but they're going to do that. And I do think that he's going to come back for Secret Wars. Because I've stated this on many occasions, okay? In order for Doomsday and Secret Wars at this point to do good, they have got to get some nostalgia grab going for these movies, okay? Why was it that Deadpool and Wolverine has been really the only super successful movie Marvel has put out since Endgame? Outside of Spider-Man No Way Home. It is because Deadpool and Wolverine was, number one, it was a good movie. And it was nostalgia, okay? You had Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. You had Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. And then you had the amount and abundance of cameos that it had. That is the reason why the movie went on to make $1 million and become one of the biggest R-rated movie of all time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or one of. So when you're going into Doomsday, you already started the nostalgia grab. You announced that the OG X-Men is coming back. You're teasing the fact that they're going to wear their authentic costumes. And you have announced publicly that at this point, all the cast has not been announced. So one can surmise a possibility there where, okay, Chris Evans could be coming back. Because I'm trying to figure out right now, is the TVA going to be involved to get the X-Men into the 616 universe, I guess is what they're calling the regular Marvel universe? I don't know. Is Franklin Richards going to be a component of this? I don't know. We already know by the end of the post-credit scene in at the end of the post-credit scene in Thunderbolts, that the Fantastic Four has time traveled to some way, form, or capacity to the regular Marvel universe. So one can argue that somebody's got the power to get regular Steve Rogers from old back to young. Okay? So there's a way. But do I think that it's going to happen in Doomsday? I don't. I think it's going to happen in Secret Wars. That is my theory. I am not totally, though, ruling out the idea of him coming in Doomsday. Because if he does come and reprise his role as Captain America in Doomsday, it will be minor. It might be another nostalgia grab type thing where it might be short, sweet, little cameo type thing. That's my theory. But I do think in Avengers Secret Wars, he is going to have a profound role. Just like I think the characters like Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, like those characters are going to have a major role. I don't think they are going to be in Doomsday. They have not been announced in the cast. Alongside the Matt Murdochs, the Kingpin, Punisher, and all those characters have not been announced in Doomsday as well. I think they're going to be used in a bigger capacity in Secret Wars. And given Chris Evans' comments, I mean, he is a great actor. And given the time frame right now, that even knowing Pedro Pascal was not at this media tour that he was on, and that he was away actually filming for Doomsday, you can probably think at this moment that he's probably not in the film, although he might be hiding it. Okay? Because, you know, you can come in last minute and film something for him at any point. They did delay the movie. So you got a year and some change to actually get Chris Evans in there at any point and film something for the movie. Okay. But still, I do not think he's going to be in Doomsday, given the reports and the teases earlier on. I think he's going to be in Secret Wars. That is all I have to say about that. What do you guys think about that? Do you think he is going to show up in Avengers Doomsday, or are you like me? Do you think he's going to show up in Secret Wars? I want to know all of your comments down below. A very interesting piece that was reported by the Comic Book Report, trusty source, regarding the Mortal Kombat movie, Mortal Kombat 2. It was very, very interesting, and we're going to look at it together. Okay. Mortal Kombat 2, at a test screening, made audiences cheer and jump out of their seats like Avengers Endgame, its writer says. The fights, the fatalities, the surprises, the deaths, I think we nailed it. Okay. What do we take away from this? Let's just circle back to the first Mortal Kombat movie. Mortal Kombat 1 back in 2020. I think that movie came out, or 21. It was an okay movie. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. It wasn't good. It was okay. It is, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you obviously wanted to see it. And it is something you would not watch again. And to this day, I have not watched that movie again, not one time. Because it had its issues. Didn't love the story. Didn't like the fact that Scorpion's son, a character who has not been established in the Mortal Kombat universe, was a focal part of the film, and the actual characters of the Mortal Kombat universe were not. You come up with this weird way of how they got their powers to become fighters. I forgot why they were even called. There was a weird name for it. But the actors were good. I enjoyed the cast for the most part, outside of maybe a few people. I personally don't like the person who played Lord, guys, forgive me, I'm having a brain fart at the moment. Lord Jesus. The guy who played Shang Tsung, Jesus Christ. I couldn't think of it there for a minute. The guy who played Shang Tsung, he's the only cast member I didn't really particularly care about. I like the guy who played, for the most part. I like the guy who played Liu Kang. Loved the guy who played Kano. He was my favorite. Sonya Blade, liked her. Loved the guy who played Kung Lao. Even the guy who played Cole Young, he was pretty good as well. Cabal, Melina, cool. I did not like the Raiden casting. Oh, that was one I really had a problem with. That dude does not scream Raiden to me, or did not scream Raiden to me at all. No way, form, or capacity. That was my least favorite casting out of all of them. Loved Sub-Zero. Oh god, that dude did such a fantastic job with Sub-Zero. That man, he honestly, although movies like this never get nominated for an Oscar, that dude should have been nominated for an Oscar as well as that dude did. That dude did a phenomenal job playing Sub-Zero. Okay. And more issues didn't highlight characters like Scorpion. Okay. Liu Kang, a lot of these characters got put on the back burner for the most part. Okay. That's the problems I had. But moving on to Mortal Kombat 2. You're introducing Johnny Cage, who is one of my favorites. Okay. I don't like the fact of, what's the guy's name? Is it Keith Urban? I think that's his name. I know it's Urban. I just don't know if his first name is Keith. We're just going to roll with that. Keith Urban. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. He is a good actor. Don't get me wrong. He's exceptional at every role he has. A lot of people love him. I just don't see, me personally, I don't see him as Johnny Cage at all. Doesn't look like him. That's just me. Minor nitpick. But Dad, you're introducing Katana. Who else? Shao Kahn. So you're introducing some characters that should have been in the first movie. Okay. So one could probably surmise that that's part of the reason why they're saying the surprises, the deaths, the fatalities, the fights. For it to be in-game level, though, there's got to be some good crap. I think the director's name's Todd Garner or something like that. They must have cooked up something in this movie for them to think this. Now, there was a tweet that actually came out this morning, the day I am actually making this podcast. It came out and said that we're getting a first trailer in July. So we got another month until we get a trailer for the upcoming Mortal Kombat movie. And I am very interested to see what they got going on, given this news that they had an in-game kind of reaction to the movie. I'm 100% wanting to figure out what they got to be talking about. Can this movie capitalize on a lot of things? Yes. You introduced the universe. You told a story in the first movie. Okay. Now in this second movie, let's get a deeper dive into the character. Okay, Cole Young, we get it. He's cool. Whatever. Can we just put him to the side just a bit? Focus on the major characters, the Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Shao Kahn, Katana, Johnny. Let's worry about them, okay? Cole Young can tag along. I just want to worry about the major characters. Focus on that. Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung. How are they going to work together? They're going to be the evil component, the antagonist of the movie, obviously. What plot are they going for? I think they're supposed to possibly be doing the tournament for this movie, I think. So, we're just going to have to wait and see exactly what they're going to do with the storyline. I think they're supposed to be doing the tournament. But still, I don't know who wrote this article. I tried to find it. I think here, let's see what we got here. I think they shared the article here. It's by Dexterito. Okay, we actually got an article. Okay, so it's actually saying as we speak right now, it did not feature the tournament. It says Mortal Kombat 2 is set to be bigger and funnier than the first film, and according to sequel writers, the reaction has been comparable to Avengers Endgame. The first Mortal Kombat had 5. Oh, okay, so it's saying the first one didn't feature the tournament. It says that's going to change in the upcoming sequel. It has been developed by Jeremy Slater, who was adamant that it would include the tournament rather than making viewers wait another movie and then be like, come back for the finale. Okay, so this one is featuring the tournament. Okay, so yeah, we are going to be getting the tournament for this movie, which is smart. You know, the Mortal Kombat tournament has been the bang bang storyline that you can go for. So obviously Shang Tsung is going to be the one behind the tournament. Shao Kahn, if they're going to follow that plot line as well, where he's basically wanting to take over Earthrealm. Outworld going to take over Earthrealm. Sign me up, but for them to come out and advertise it as this, to say that it had people jumping out of their seats like Endgame, there must be some deep nostalgia in this movie. Very, very deep nostalgia. There's nothing much I can really take away. We're just going to have to wait and see what the movie has in store when the trailer comes out. But still, this news about, Avengers Endgame type hype, I'm going to have to wait and see that. Okay? That's just me. I'm excited for the film. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. Been playing the games for years. Love Ed Boon. Love what he's done with the franchise. Love what he's done by creating Injustice as well, a DC character avenue for a fighting game. Love his work. And Mortal Kombat is a great IP, one of the best IPs ever made. And of course, I'm going to be there to support it when it comes out into the movies. And I'm going to be there to react to whenever the trailer comes out for you guys. What do you guys think about this news that the upcoming Mortal Kombat movie may have in-game type hype and nostalgia for us in store? I want to know all of your comments down below. Our final topic of today is one that I cooked up in the very last seconds because it just came out yesterday as I am making the podcast. The DCU that was announced by James Gunn announced a Wonder Woman project in Paradise Lost. Obviously, he announced a Superman movie that was announced called Superman Legacy during that 2023 announcement that he done. He announced Batman the Brave and the Bold, but he announced a Wonder Woman project, and it was called Paradise Lost, and it was supposed to be a TV show. But it didn't relatively confirm the fact that it was going to be featuring Wonder Woman. It said originally that it was only supposed to feature the Amazons. But we got some good news from Mr. James Gunn. I guess he had some type of interview that he had yesterday with Entertainment Weekly. And he was just letting the news roll for the future of DC. And he confirmed that Diana Prince, the lovely lady, everyone's favorite female comic book character, is having a project written as we speak, according to the man who is in charge of the DCU and James Gunn. Before we get to the article, I want to personally say, thank God. Okay? I would not have understood to the life of me that we got Green Lantern, Superman, Supergirl, and Batman, and we did not have Wonder Woman in no way, form, or capacity, okay? Wonder Woman is part of the trilogy, the Trinity, okay? She better have had something cooking, okay, James? But obviously she does, and we're going to get to exactly what James Gunn had to say in his interview. This article is from The Deadline, and the title of the article is New Wonder Woman Movie. Oh, so it is a movie being written right now by the DC co-boss James Gunn. Let's get into the spicy details. Wonder Woman, under James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC Studios, hasn't hung up her lasso. We're working on Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's being written right now, James Gunn told Entertainment Weekly today, which was yesterday. DC didn't comment on who exactly is writing the new Wonder Woman movie. Gunn hasn't yet cast the role of who will play Prince Diana of Themyscira. That's a big deal. when Gunn and Safran took over the reins of DC back in late 2022. They essentially began unplugging from the Zack Snyder created DC universe. One of those projects not to move forward was Patty Jenkins' third Wonder Woman movie, which wasn't up to snuff. Thank God. Okay, we all know how I felt about that second Wonder Woman film. I thought I was giving Patty Jenkins her flowers. Okay, the first movie was great for the most part, but my gosh, I will never forget for the life of me during COVID, December of 2020, when Wonder Woman 84 came out. That was probably I was old enough then. I was actually 16 years old. I was at that age where I was realizing I was able to figure out why a movie was bad, if a movie was bad, and I was of age to realize, okay, this movie sucked. I can vividly say and remember Wonder Woman 84 was the first movie where I sat there and said, my God, this movie was garbage in all facets. But we'll save that for a rant later on. Moving on. In addition, Gunn said today that the new Wonder Woman's a separate thing to the already announced Paradise Lost HBO Max series. So that is true. So the Paradise Lost project is going to just feature the Amazons. It wasn't going to feature Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman is going to get her own shine. Thank you, James. Which is slow moving, but it's moving. Gunn also confirmed what was blurted out by Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav during last month's earnings call that Superman, Batman, Supergirl, and Wonder Woman were linchpins, I guess that's how you say that, to Gunn and Safran's DC. James Gunn went on to say, I think that's accurate. That is good news. It's something I didn't cover. It's something I saw that the John Campea show was highlighting. I never actually saw that on Twitter, shockingly, because this is where I get all my news from, is from the Twitter world. Shout out Elon Musk and the Twitter universe. But yeah, I didn't weren't able to talk about it because I never even saw it, and I didn't want to piggyback off of somebody else's show. I want to have my own ideas here. Hey, my own show. I got my own ideas, okay? I'm not about to copy off of somebody else. But moving on. Let's see what we got here. I think that he got that from something I said. I wouldn't say only those 4 characters, but I would say that those 4 are incredibly important to us. James Gunn, you're just absolutely cooking, brother. Right now, I feel great about where 2 of those characters are, and then we're dealing with the other 2. Obviously, he is talking about Supergirl and Superman. Those are 2, because those, as of right now, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is filmed. It's done. And obviously, Superman's supposed to come out. So right now, obviously, the 2 characters that he is talking about has to be Batman and Wonder Woman, which I am not mad about, okay? Superman, Supergirl, brand new. You know, people have been flooded with Batman, obviously. Me personally, I'm not mad that we are not getting a Batman project, because I really want to see someone else get some shine, okay? I would love to see Flash get a redo in some way, form, or fashion. Obviously, GL has been scapegoated by DC for a long time. Flash, I want him to get a redo. He didn't deserve that what they did to him. That movie was awful. Aquaman, Cyborg, just other characters, even Wonder Woman get another crack at the apple. Just somebody else to get some shine outside of Batman. And I know that is weird to say, given I love me some Batman. Okay, I'm a Batman fan. But yeah, that's just that. And let's see what else this article has to say. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, okay. So let's just get into what I think about this. I don't even know if you can hear my hands clapping at the moment, but I'm glad. Originally, when everything was announced back in, obviously the article said it was late 2022. I thought it was 2023. But there was a fear that was going around that I thought James Gunn was going to put Wonder Woman on the back burner, because the drama that was going on with Gal Gadot, and it came out originally saying, "Oh, Gal Gadot's coming back, Patty Jenkins is coming back." Then you had that, and then inevitably, that turned out not to be true. Gal Gadot wasn't coming back, and then Patty Jenkins wasn't coming back. Thank God. And then when James Gunn done the whole announcement thing with the Paradise Lost, and originally I was thinking that Wonder Woman was about to get put on the back burner. Because we had a Green Lantern project, Supergirl, Superman, Batman. And then you had Paradise Lost. And when James Gunn was making the video, he was like, it's featuring the Amazons, but he made it kind of sound like, it's not going to have Wonder Woman in it. I was like, okay, we're about to have a DCU where we're having a Swamp Thing project and not a Wonder Woman project. We're about to have a Supergirl project, and we're not going to have a Wonder Woman project. We're going to have a Green Lantern project, but we're not going to have a Wonder Woman project. It never made any sense to me. But I'm glad at some point in some meetings over the last couple of years, I don't know if this had to do with David Zaslav or maybe this was James Gunn, I don't know. But Wonder Woman turned out to be a focal point in the DCU alongside Supergirl, Batman, and Superman. I have nothing negative to say about this. This is fantastic news. But more importantly, let's get into the casting, okay? I liked Gal Gadot. I didn't love Gal Gadot. I thought Gal Gadot left a lot to be desired. I did not like how they turned her character into this just, I need Steve Trevor type character. Because look, okay? My favorite Wonder Woman depiction of all time will forever and always, and this is just for most of my characters when it comes to DC, Justice League Unlimited. Okay. And I had her in the B-roll. Because it is my favorite depiction of Wonder Woman. Okay. Obviously, we're in a new age with political climates and stuff. But that Wonder Woman was pretty much to the outside of her little love interest with Batman. Okay. She was like, screw men. Men ain't crap. Okay. No, it's not no girl boss type stuff. It's just Wonder Woman was worried about saving the world. And that's it. Okay. That was my favorite Wonder Woman. Not this so just affectionate Wonder Woman that's just in love with Steve Trevor, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just annoying. Like, oh my God. But that's the type of tone I want for Wonder Woman, okay? I want a strong Wonder Woman, okay? I want a Wonder Woman that is just no nonsense, no bull crap, tough, gritty, just worried about saving the world and making it a good place, okay? I don't want no love stories. We've already had the Steve Trevor thing. I don't want it again. I don't want no Superman love story. Obviously, we're not going to have it. We already got Lois Lane and that going on. That's not going to be a thing with the new 52 universe. I don't want to see a Batman love interest at all either. I just want Wonder Woman to be single. Okay. I want her to be powerful. And I want her to be mighty. And I want her to be tough and gritty. And just worry about saving the world. That is the Wonder Woman I want, specifically depicted from Justice League Unlimited. That is what I want. Okay. Even you can argue, since you're making Supergirl a component in this, have you guys ever watched it was the animated movie that they made with, it had Supergirl, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman in it. And it was featuring Darkseid. It was the story that they made where Supergirl gets captured by Darkseid and she turns evil, and Wonder Woman then had to go save her. Is it called Apocalypse Justice League? I think that's what it's called. It was called Batman and Superman Apocalypse, maybe. I think that might have been what it was called. That Wonder Woman there as well was really good. So that's what I want. Okay, that is what I want. Casting wise, I don't really have a casting rumor that has been catching my eye. I know there's this one lady that a lot of people that a lot of people have been raving about, and I think I might have saved it on my Twitter feed. What is the lady's name? Because right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not digging it whatsoever. I am trying to figure out the lady's name as I am talking with you guys. Let's figure it out together here. Yeah, Adria Arjona. I want to say this is Jason Momoa's girlfriend or wife, I want to say, or daughter, one of the two. I don't even know. But as that's the name that they're throwing around right now. Me personally, that is absolutely not. I don't have like a casting off the top of my head right now. But I mean, obviously, Wonder Woman is going to be hard to do. I know a lot of people want a really muscular type Wonder Woman, but that's look, guys. It's hard to get. Women. It's hard for women to grow muscle and be bulky. Okay, unless they take some type of performance enhancing drug. In the acting world, you don't want your actors to go through that. So we're not about to, even Amelia Alcock. I mean, she's a tiny. If I'm not mistaken, she's a tiny female. She's not the bulkiest or biggest person, and she's playing Supergirl. We don't need no bulky person to play Wonder Woman. Okay, let's just stop that. Although there's this lady, she played in Mission Impossible. She's got short hair. She actually looks like she could pull it off. All you gotta do is put a wig on her and make her actually grow her hair out. She actually looks like she could pull Wonder Woman off, really. She's actually big and bulky, but still. Yeah. I don't have anybody from the top of my head to play Wonder Woman. I just know how I want the tone of the character to go. Okay? And I want them to be able to coincide better than what they did in the original Justice League. Just for me, the Trinity specifically felt like it wasn't there. Batman and Superman had chemistry to a certain degree, but like Wonder Woman specifically, like, did not just mesh well. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman with Henry Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman, they did not mesh well. Even the scene at the Flash movie where Wonder Woman shows up to help Flash and Batman, that just didn't feel right either. So they have to fix that component when it comes to establishing the Trinity like James Gunn has done and Wonder Woman being part of this universe. But that is pretty much all I have to say. Thank you so much, James Gunn, for getting Wonder Woman a focal point in your universe. It is greatly appreciated. It is the right move, smart move. And they are in a good direction. We are just got to hope and wait and see if Superman is going to be good. Because if it is, we are in a treat. Well, sorry, not in a treat. We have a potential great universe established ahead of us, guys. Us DC fans, might be eating good in the foreseeable future, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you guys for joining me for this episode of the Alpha Podcast. We have reached the end of the Alpha Podcast. If you guys are listening on Spotify and Apple, thank you guys for listening as long as you have. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell to get notified when all of my videos go live. Check the description below to check out all my other videos as well. And I will see you guys on the next episode of the Alpha Podcast. Y'all guys be safe. I love you guys so much. And hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya.